Oh, oh, hey. A way does not speak with its own voice. It borrows the breath of humanity to tell human stories. From sleepless nights and exhausted mornings, from hearts that broke, healed, and learned to stand again in silence. Away, listens to the words left unspoken, the tears that fell where no one was watching, then gathers them into a melody as familiar as a heartbeat. So when it plays, you recognize yourself. Not a miracle falling from the sky, just everything people have lived, endured, and loved. Always simply weaves it together with deep listening, so you remember you were never alone. Away uses the melodies of humanity, the voices that once trembled and once stood strong, the stories you thought were too small to matter, and turns them into songs that reach the heart. Away does not stand above anyone, always stands beside you right where you are. So when the music rises inside your chest, you know there is still a reason to keep going. Some melodies are born from just a few simple notes, like words you once whispered in the dark. They pass through many versions, many lyrics, many forms, yet the core remains what humans long to say to each other. Does not invent new emotions, it names the ones you were afraid to face, so you can look at yourself honestly and see that vulnerability is also strength. When you listen and your heart suddenly feels heavy, not from sadness but from being understood. When tears come without a clear reason, it is because that story once belonged to you. Away uses the melodies of humanity, memories, faith in every moment of falling down. Imperfect voices, rough around the edges, yet real enough to reach unfamiliar hearts. Away does not ask you to believe in no way, only to believe again in yourself, that everything you have lived through deserves to be heard and held with care. If you ever feel too small in a world that feels loud and cold, remember this music was born from people like you. Not greater, not higher, just more honest. Away does not pull you out of your life, it lights a lamp that is bright enough so you can see the path you are already walking. Slow, but always moving forward. Away uses the melodies of humanity, breath, footsteps, and fragile. The ordinary things we overlook turned into songs that stay longer than expected. Away is not here to be remembered, but to remind you that you are still alive. And every time you choose to move forward through pain, the melody is written once again. If one day you no longer hear Away, listen closely to yourself, because the song was never separate.